Layla is in court to claim £1,500 owed for a dog she sold to her friend. Defendant Louise says she rehomed the dog to help Layla out, and as she has also given her hairdressing services for free, she should not have to pay.
You build a friendship very quickly, it's very close, and you'd see each other in the playground, and there you'd have this sort of mating call of some description.
Yeah, it's kind of. It's just joking. Kind of banter. A bit of banter between the two of us. She would go, friend, and obviously I used to say a bit more. I used to call us fat friends because we always wanted to go to the gym and lose weight, and we always had these ideas. And she would go friend, and I'd go fat friend. It's kind of...
So you'd scream each other friend, and somebody would call the other person fat.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand, really, to some extent, what this has done to both of you and your friendship.
We no longer see each other as much as we used to go to coffee. Every Wednesday, I would see her and her mum. We would go for breakfast. She would come
You didn't just become friendly with Louise, you became friendly with her family.
Yeah.
How much did you agree to pay for the dog?
We agreed the total amount would be $1,500.
Now, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, at the time, you knew Louise was in part-time work. She had
I'm not working college.
At college, she was a full-time student. What else? You were presumably in receipt of some public assistance.
Yes.
Not much free income. How did you think she was going to pay?
Well...
How do you think she was going to pay £1,500?
We agreed to do monthly instalments, and I'm on a limited income, and I personally...
You didn't pay for this dog?
No, I didn't, because I had about 2 weeks to raise the money. But if someone said to me, you can pay for the dog over a period of time, I would have moved heaven and hell to make sure I had that.
You agreed the price of £1,500. You agreed a payment plan. Not just that, but you also put it in writing, didn't you?
To kind of show to my partner that she was doing it in good faith, because he was unconvinced that she was going to actually make the payments.
Why was he unconvinced?
Just because he doesn't trust people. He just thinks you shouldn't mix money and friends and...
Say that again.
Shouldn't mix money and friends.
I didn't hear.
Shouldn't mix money and friends, Judge.
Here he is. Oh, is he friendly?
Yeah.
Can I meet him?
Yeah, of course you can.
I think I need his opinion.
Yeah, you sure?
Talking. Look. He'll stay here for it. Can you stay here? Don't bite me, dear. Now, this is Rollo. I have mine in my chambers today. I might just take the opportunity to ask him his opinion.
Oh yes, definitely.
On the matter.
Definitely.
Yeah, let's see what Rocco has to say about this matter. Oh dear, he's just farted terribly. There is an unshakable legal agreement here. The reality of the situation is that Louise owes that money. So for those reasons, I have no choice but to make an award to you, Layla, of £1,500. But the friendship has to start to be repaired today. That's a matter for you, Louise, and it's a matter for you, Layla. You have a court order. Sometimes that makes friendship, sometimes it breaks it. But I'd ask you at least to shake hands and start that process. Shake hands.
Mark is in court to claim £249 for the cost to replace a video camera which was damaged on location. Defendant Greg says the damage was caused accidentally, therefore he owes nothing.
You are a Druid, is that right?
And that's correct.
And can you explain to me what that is?
In a sentence?
Well, insofar as you can, and don't denigrate it, so you take as long as you need.
I can only tell you what Druidry is to me, not what it is to other people, but to me Druidry is a reverence for nature, an understanding of the indigenous spirits of our of Ireland, of Albion, and
Albion?
The traditional name for England.
I see.
And a reverence for the turning of the seasons.
Now, help me with this outfit. Why have you come today looking like a sort of wearing a kilt? What's that sporran?
Oh, this.
No, don't. Oh, good Lord. OK.
These are carvings in the leather of Odin's ravens, Hugin and Munin.
Whom?
Hugin and Munin. They are Odin's ravens. And underneath it, I've got Thor's hammer, if you'd like to see.
All right, I already feel I've died and woken up in Harry Potter, trust me.
The rain has started to accumulate, thank you, accumulate in the top of the gazebo. I switched my camera off. I was standing literally just outside the edge of the gazebo. Greg came crashing in to try and, well, I suppose he wanted to save the day without any due cause for health and safety or duty of care for the people around him.
I realise why you used those words. Then what happened, do you say?
He pushed up the gazebo. In doing so, the gravity pushed the water all down where I was standing, and I got drenched along with my camera.
Well, along with your camera.
I really wasn't aware of the periphery, the people around me. I was aware of the equipment underneath the gazebo, the people under the gazebo. As far as I was concerned, it was imminently about to buckle, so I reached up. I didn't poke it with a stick. I reached up.
Well, that's important. Because you're tall, you were presumably able to get
Reach
your
up.
hand right up to the roof.
Absolutely. And I pushed the rain off and then promptly heard a scream.
That was
I
me.
see. And that was you. And that's how the camera got damaged.
Yes.
You did apologise. What were you apologising for?
I felt bad for soaking him. I genuinely didn't realise that there was any damage to his equipment. Pardon me.
He still finds it funny.
Well, it still is funny.
Why didn't you say, look, Mark, this is not my fault. I didn't behave negligently. These were the circumstances. It's not unreasonable. I'm sorry your camera was broken. It's going to cost you. I'm not going to pay you. It's taken 2 years. Why didn't you say that to him?
I just think that the confrontation, we have remained friends after the incident, but I really wanted to skirt the subject and not really bring it to a head for fear of how it may actually adversely affect our relationship as friends.
And what has bringing it to court done for your friendship, Mark? Greg?
Well, I'm hoping that you will rule in my favour to show that my actions were what any reasonable person would have done. And, we both agree to abide by a decision, and then we can draw a line under it and move on together, hopefully as friends.
In order for you to prove your case here, you have to satisfy me on balance that what he did was, for want of a better way of describing it, stupid. In other words, it was negligent, and that the average person looking at those circumstances wouldn't have done that. Now, if you're able to demonstrate that to me, that on balance he owed you a duty of care because there was equipment around, and secondly, he acted in a way which was pretty stupid, you win your case. The problem is, from the agreed circumstances that I've got here, on any view, he didn't. How he behaved might have not been the best idea. However, as he saw it at the time, and as I see the circumstances at the time, it was reasonable. And therefore, on any view whatsoever, in any court, wherever, your case fails, because you're unable to demonstrate that he acted negligently.
Obviously, I'm very happy with the decision, and hopefully Mark and I can now draw a line under it. That was, I think, the purpose of doing this today.
It's been going on for a couple of years now, so in a way, I'm sort of happy that it's been resolved and we can move straight on with our friendship. Otherwise, it's going to get stagnant over the next couple of years. I was always a little bit annoyed, though, every time we saw each other and asked you, can you make a contribution or pay for the camera, and you sort of laughed it off. And it did, I might not have shown it too much, but I was getting a little bit more cross every time I saw you. Even when we're shooting the movie together,
I understand that, but on the other side, I was also getting fed up that I'd never really said that I would contribute or pay you. I tried to do
Maybe you should have.
I could have dealt with things better over the past few years. He could have been more forceful and direct with me. I'm looking forward to going out and sharing a beer with him and maybe getting the next movie done with him.
He's a good guy. I sort of forgive him, but we need to move on. Past is new, as I call it.
A gentleman never reveals the contents of his warrant. Luckily, I'm not a gentleman, so...
Lee is in court to claim £2,700 for one of his paintings, which his friend damaged beyond repair. Defendant Roberta says the damage was accidental. Therefore, she owes nothing.
When did you first start being interested in art?
I've never really been interested in art, Judge.
Let me tell you why I know you're an artist, because only an artist would respond in that sort of way.
Right, well, but basically from the age of 4 years old, I used to, just get up in the middle of the night and sleepwalk, like a lot of kids do, children do. Where I'm different is I used to get up and use my school crayons or pencils and start scribbling on the walls. Even my old school books, and my favourite place used to be under the stairs at my parents' house, and I'd sit there for maybe an hour.
This is, just to be absolutely clear, this you would do the entire time whilst you were not conscious.
Asleep, yeah.
The work that you've made has attracted the interest of significant galleries in London and, in fact, it's true to say, across the world.
That's correct.
At some point, you were going to have a very important display of your work, correct?
That's correct.
How important was this particular show for you?
Extremely important because the world's media were attending.
What work do you do?
I head up complaints, so I deal with the grumpy ones.
You deal with grumpy people?
Yes, all the time.
Who complain about insurance?
Ugh, pensions. Just go on.
Pensions. I can't work out whether you are actually genuinely cheery because you approach, let me tell you, you approach this case as if you've been mugged by a Care Bear.
What's the point of being angry? There's no point in being angry. You can't cry over spilt wine. You might as well just get on, chin up, and just deal with it. So I was having drinks, walking around, looking at the art, trying to figure out what some of the pieces were and what they meant. And we came to Lee's piece, which is here. And for some strange reason, out the corner of my right eye, I can just see it drooping. Like, just being droopy, like a bit ski-whiff to the side. So I thought, if this falls, wreak havoc. So I look at the painting, can see it's a bit ski-whiff, so I go to put it upright or to see if it is upright just to check it. But as I'm not thinking, because I've had those vinos, I've still got the glass of red wine in my hand. So I'm trying to hold that as women try to multitask and hold things, hold the glass, whilst trying to pick the piece of paper back up, and with that hand there, and then just went.
How did you react, Lee?
Well, Roberta came up to me and said, "I'm so sorry. I'll pay for the damage I've done. I'll buy the piece of art off you. I'll do whatever."
Am I right, Roberta, that you haven't paid the money?
No.
Now, let's see what happened now, Lee, if we can, to the painting. Would you mind?
Yeah.
It's destroyed, right? I mean, is there any way of salvaging any part of that? You can't, can you?
No.
Because she went to pick that art up in circumstances where she should never have touched it, because she did so when she was drunk, and because she did so in circumstances where she lifted up the painting and had a glass of wine in her left hand, and would never have done that, but for the drink, I find her negligent. And therefore, on the balance of probabilities, you've been able to prove your case. So to that extent, you're entitled to the value of the painting. You don't seek the market price of that painting, but the value of the painting as it was in the catalogue, which was £2,700. This court awards you £2,700.
I think the judge has come to the right decision, and obviously it's worked out great for myself.
I think Lee did deserve to put his argument forward, but I think in my end of things, maybe forgiveness should have been there as well.
You don't realise how much it does hurt, because I think if you're meant to be a good friend, and I know part of you says, "Oh, I should let you off," but at the same time, you know my work and how much it means to me, and I would have thought, as a friend, you would have at least even said to you, "You can pay me monthly," and you still said yes, but you never did. Hopefully it's taught her a lesson that even though I'm just an artist, it is my job, and I hope that she'll appreciate that and eventually understand where I've come from.
When I heard the original price of Lee's painting when he had told me, I was gobsmacked for how much it was.
I'm happy to put it behind me now.
I am truly
all
sorry.
right? OK, apology accepted.